Ever wish you could go back and fix the mistakes that cost you years of stress, regret, and missed chances? I do, and today I'm sharing 10 Stoic lessons I wish I'd learned before 30, so you don't repeat my blunders. Before I discovered Stoicism, my 20s were a mess, chasing approval, stressing over things I couldn't change, and crumbling under pressure. I wasted time on regrets, burned bridges with impulsive reactions, and let opportunities slip because I didn't know better. Then I found the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, ancient Stoics who faced worse than I ever did, yet lived with calm, purpose, and strength. Stoicism isn't just philosophy, it's a toolkit for life. In this 50-minute video, I'll walk you through 10 lessons I learned the hard way, mistakes I made, and how Stoicism could have saved me years of struggle. These aren't abstract ideas. They're practical truths I've tested and they work. If I'd known them earlier, I'd have less scars and more peace. If you're ready to learn from my past and build a better future, hit that like button, subscribe, and comment. I'm learning from Stoicism to join me on this journey. Lesson 1. You can't control everything. Epictetus said, "There is only one way to happiness, and that is to cease worrying about things which are beyond the power of our will." Before 30, I wasted years trying to control everything. People's opinions, unpredictable setbacks, even the weather on a bad day. I'd stress over friends' cold reply, replaying text to figure out what I did wrong, or fume when a project failed due to someone else's mistake. It was exhausting and pointless. I remember one night, pacing over a canceled event I planned, blaming others, cursing fate, until I realized I couldn't change it. That's when Epictetus' words hit me. You can't control the world, only yourself. Stoicism teaches a brutal but freeing truth. Your power lies in your thoughts, actions, and choices, nothing more. I could have saved so much energy if I'd focused on my response instead of the chaos. Like when I obsessed over job rejection, I couldn't control their decision, but I could have worked on my skills instead of sulking. Epictetus, a slave who lost everything, found peace by mastering what he could, his mind. Before 30, I fought battles I couldn't win. This lesson would have stopped that. Imagine the calm if I'd let go of others' judgments or past mistakes sooner. Less anxiety, more action. Most of my 20s were spent wrestling the uncontrollable. Stoicism could have turned that into strength. Don't waste energy like I did. Next time you're stressed, ask, can I control this? If not, let it go and focus on your response. Comment, I let go, and share one thing you'll stop stressing about today. Lesson 2. Happiness comes from within. Seneca said, "True happiness is to enjoy the present, without anxious dependence upon the future, not to amuse ourselves with either hopes or fears, but to rest satisfied with what we have." Before 30, I chased happiness in all the wrong places: money, status, other people's approval. I'd grind for a promotion, thinking, this will make me happy, only feel empty when I got it. Or I'd beg for validation from friends, crumbling if they didn't praise me. One time, I threw a big party to impress everyone. Spent a fortune, stressed for weeks, but felt lonelier than ever when it ended. Seneca's wisdom would have saved me. Happiness isn't out there, it's inside you. Stoicism teaches that externals, wealth, fame, even love, can't guarantee joy. Only your mind can. I spent my 20s waiting for the next big thing, a better job, a perfect relationship, never content with what I had. Seneca, exiled and facing death, found peace in simplicity, a clear mind, a good day, a friend's company. If I'd learned this, I'd have stopped running and started living. Picture this. Instead of chasing likes on social media, I could have savored a quiet coffee, happy with my own thoughts. My mistake was tying joy to things I couldn't control. Stoicism shifts it to what you can, your perspective. That party? I could have enjoyed the moment, not the applause. Before 30, I was a happiness beggar. This lesson would have made me rich in spirit. Stop chasing like I did. Find one thing you have now, like a good meal or a quiet moment, and enjoy it fully. Happiness is here. Comment, I find joy within, and share one thing you'll savor today. Lesson 3. Failure is a teacher. Marcus Aurelius said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes a way." Before 30, I saw failure as the end, Each stumble crushed me. I'd bombed a big presentation once, stuttered, forgot lines, and spent weeks beating myself up, convinced I was a fraud. I avoided risks after that, terrified of another flop. If I'd known Marcus Aurelius' lesson, I have seen failure as a teacher, not a judge. Stoicism flips the script. Setbacks aren't defeats. They're lessons to grow stronger. That presentation? I could have learned to prepare better, speak slower, and face fear. Skills I gained later, but too late to save my confidence then. Marcus Aurelius faced endless failures, wars lost, plans ruined. Yet he turned each into a chance to refine his resolve. My 20s were full of missed opportunities because I ran from failure instead of embracing it. Another time, I started a side hustle that tanked, lost money, felt humiliated, and quit trying for years. If I'd reframed it as a lesson in planning or persistence, I'd have bounced back faster. Most people fear failure like I did, letting it define them. Stoicism taught me it shapes you if you let it. Before 30, I hid from challenges. This lesson would have made me bold. Imagine freedom if I'd seen every fall as a step up, less shame, more grit. Don't fear failure like I did. Next time you stumble, ask, what's this teaching me? Use it to grow. Comment, failure is my teacher, and share one lesson from a past failure you'll apply now. Lesson 4. Don't fear death. Marcus Aurelius said, "It is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live." Before 30, I was paralyzed by the fear of death, not the act, but the idea of running out of time. I'd lie awake, obsessing over aging, missing out, or leaving no mark. Every birthday felt like a countdown. It drove me to chase meaningless goals, like working overtime for cash I didn't need just to feel alive. Marcus Aurelius' lesson would have freed me. Death is natural, not a thief. Stoicism teaches you to accept mortality, not dread it. It's the end for everyone. So focus on living well now. I wasted nights worrying about a future I couldn't see, instead of enjoying the day I had. Marcus Aurelius, facing death daily as emperor, wrote meditations to remind himself, life's value isn't in length, but depth. If I'd learned this, I have stressed less about not enough time and lived more. Taken that trip, called that friend. Once, I skipped a family event for work, fearing I'd fall behind. Later, I regretted it deeply. Death's inevitability should have pushed me to prioritize what mattered. Most people avoid this truth like I did, letting it haunt them. Stoicism turns it into a call to action. Before 30, I feared the end. This lesson would have made me embrace the present. Don't let fear steal your life like it did mine. Think, if today's my last, what matters? Do that one thing today. Comment, I live now, and share one moment you'll embrace fully. Lesson 5. Stop seeking approval. Epictetus said, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. Before 30, I was a slave to approval. Every move was about what others thought. I dressed to impress, work late to please my boss, even hide my real opinions to fit in. One time, I stayed in a toxic job because I feared people calling me a quitter, miserable, but too scared to leave. Epictetus' lesson would have cut those chains. Others' opinions don't define you. Your character does. Stoicism teaches that seeking approval is a trap. You can't control what people think, and chasing it drains you. I spent years tweaking myself for likes, literal and figurative, only to feel hollow when the praise faded. Epictetus, a slave mocked by many, cared only for his own virtue, not their sneers. If I'd learned this, I'd have quit that job sooner, spoken my mind, and lived for me, not them. I remember bending over backwards for a friend's approval, planning stuff I didn't enjoy just to hear good job. It never lasted. Most people waste their lives like I did, bending to please. Stoicism frees you to stand tall. Before 30, I was a puppet. This lesson would have made me my own master. Quit pleasing like I did. Do one thing today just for you, not their applause. Be your own judge. Comment, I'm enough, and share one choice you'll make for yourself. Lesson 6. Emotions don't rule you. Seneca said, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Before 30, I let emotions run my life. Anger, Fear, jealousy owned me. I'd explode at small slights, like when a coworker took credit for my work. I yelled, stormed off, and ruined a good gig. Or I'd freeze in fear, skipping chances because what if I fail? Seneca's lesson would have saved me. Emotions don't rule you unless you let them. Stoicism teaches you to feel, not follow. Step back, breathe, and choose your response. I spent my 20s reacting. Once I ended a friendship over a petty argument, too mad to think straight. If I'd paused, I'd have seen it wasn't worth it. Seneca faced exile and threats, yet stayed calm by mastering his mind, not his feelings. My mistake was letting every mood dictate my moves. Jealousy made me bitter when others succeeded. Fear stopped me cold. Imagine if I'd learned to say, I feel this, but I won't act on it. Less fights, more focus. One time, I panicked during a tight deadline, rushing and botching it. A breath and a plan would have worked better. Most people are slaves to emotions like I was. Stoicism gives you the reins. Before 30, I was a storm. This lesson would have made me steady. Don't let emotions steer you like they did me. Feel it, then pause and breathe before you act. Choose calm. Comment, I master my emotions, and share one time you'll pause today. Lesson 7. Time is your most valuable asset. Seneca said, it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. Before 30, I squandered time like it was infinite. Hours on mindless scrolling, days on petty grudges, years on dead-end pursuits. I binged TV to relax, only to feel emptier or stew over a slight for weeks instead of moving on. Seneca's lesson would have woken me up. Time is your most valuable asset, and you're losing it daily. Stoicism hammers this home. Every hour gone is gone forever, so spend it wisely. I once wasted a whole weekend sulking over a breakup, replaying what I should have said when I could have learned a skill or called a friend. Seneca, facing a shortened life, urged us to treat time like gold, not sand. If I'd learned this, I'd have ditched distraction sooner. Less Netflix, more growth. My 20s were a blur of procrastination. I delayed dreams thinking, there's always tomorrow. There isn't. One time, I put off a passion project for later. Years passed, and I still hadn't started. Most people fritter time away like I did, waking up too late. Stoicism makes you guard fiercely. Before 30, I let time slip. This lesson would have made me live with intent. Value time like I didn't. Cut one distraction today, like scrolling, and spend that hour on something meaningful. Comment, I guard my time, and share one way you'll use it wisely today. Lesson 8. Obstacles are opportunities. Marcus Aurelius said, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Before 30, I saw obstacles as curses. Every roadblock crushed my spirit. I'd hit a snag at work, say a rejected proposal, and sulk, thinking, why me? I once lost a client due to a mix-up. I moped for days, blaming everyone, instead of adapting. Marcus Aurelius' lesson would have turned it around. Obstacles aren't barriers. They're opportunities to grow. Stoicism teaches that what blocks you can build you, if you let it. That client loss? I could have learned better communication or resilience, but I wallowed. Marcus Aurelius faced wars, betrayals, and plagues, yet saw each as a chance to prove his mettle. My 20s were a pity party. Every setback felt personal, like the universe hated me. If I'd reframed them, I'd have thrived sooner. Another time, I hit a financial dip, bills piled up, and panicked. Seeing ruin, later, I realized it taught me budgeting. Most people give up at hurdles like I did. Stoicism turns them into stepping stones. Before 30, I dodged challenges. This lesson would have made me fearless. Don't curse obstacles like I did. Face one today and ask, how can this make me better? Turn it into growth. Comment, obstacles are opportunities, and share one challenge you'll reframe. Lesson 9. Virtue is the only good. Marcus Aurelius said, if it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. Before 30, I chased hollow prizes, money, status, applause, thinking they'd fill me up. I'd bend the truth to look good, like exaggerating a story to impress a date or cut corners at work for a quick win. It always backfired. People saw through it and I felt cheap. Marcus Aurelius' lesson would have grounded me. Virtue, courage, justice, wisdom is the only real good. The rest is noise. Stoicism teaches that a good life isn't about what you gain, but who you are. I spent my 20s grabbing at glitter. Once, I stayed silent when a friend was wronged, fearing backlash, and it gnawed at me for years. If I'd acted justly, I have slept better. Marcus Aurelius ruled Rome, yet judged himself by integrity, not power. My mistake was valuing results over character. Lying left me empty. Silence left me ashamed. Imagine if I'd lived virtuously, spoken up, kept promises, stayed honest. Less guilt, more pride. Most people chase externals like I did, missing the core. Stoicism roots you in what lasts. Before 30, I sold my soul for scraps. This lesson would have made me whole. Don't trade virtue like I did. Choose one right action today, like honesty or kindness, over easy gain. Live true. Comment virtue is my good, and share one virtuous choice you'll make. Lesson 10. You are enough. Epictetus said, "He is a wise man who does not grieve for things which he is not, but rejoices for those which he has." Before 30, I never felt enough, not smart enough, rich enough, cool enough. I compare myself to everyone, colleagues with fancier titles, friends with bigger lives, and spiral into self-doubt. I'd push myself to exhaustion, chasing more skills, more stuff, thinking it'd fix me. One time, I stayed up nights studying for a test I didn't need. Just outshine someone. I passed, but felt no better. Epictetus' lesson would have healed me. You are enough right now, as you are. Stoicism teaches that your worth isn't in what you lack, but what you hold. Your mind, your will. I spent my 20s grieving for what I wasn't, missing what I was, a decent person, trying my best. Epictetus, with nothing as a slave, found richness in his own spirit. If I'd learned this, I'd have stopped comparing and started living, enjoyed my small wins, my quirks, my effort. I remember envying a friend's car, feeling lesser. Later, I realized my own life had value. Most people chase enough, like I did, never arriving. Stoicism plants you firmly in yourself. Before 30, I was never complete. This lesson would have made me whole. Stop chasing more, like I did. List 3 things you have, like effort or kindness, and own them. You're enough. Comment, I am enough. And share one strength you'll celebrate today. These 10 Stoic lessons could have saved my 20s. Don't wait like I did. Start now, subscribe, and let's live wiser together. We've covered letting go of the uncontrollable, finding joy within, learning from failure, embracing mortality, ditching approval, mastering emotions, valuing time, turning obstacles into opportunities, living virtuously, and knowing you're enough. These aren't just my regrets. They're gifts from Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, honed to their own storms. I wish I'd had them before 30. Less stress, more purpose, fewer scars. Picture your life with these. Calm under chaos, strong through setbacks, free from others' judgments. Pick one lesson today, try for a week, and see the shift. If my mistakes spark something, like subscribe and comment, I'm wiser now. To join our community, let's avoid my pitfalls. See you next time.